Good morning. Today we are continuing on with that slope-intercept form with Po55. This is I can write an equation in slope-intercept form given the graph of an equation. So, I don't know why this looks so goofy here. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can fix that real quick before we get started. It does look a little bit different.
Why is it? Why look like that? My brain is
Oh my goodness. Oops. I don't know why it's doing this to me. Oops, I did not mean to close that up. All right, we are going to do something a little different because that was way too wonky different. So I am going to do it this way. Let's just move that out. Okay, thank you for your patience. We will just use the paper on the screen because it'll not throw us off so much. All right, so we've learned how to graph an equation in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to practice writing the equation that's represented by the graph. So we're going to go backwards from what we were doing yesterday. So we need to do some review. What is our slope-intercept form? Can we say it together? Y equals mx plus b. Is it going to write on the paper for me? Well, it should. It has my little thing up there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but it's not actually showing it. So, because life just does not want to be easy for me today, we are going to do it this way. All right. So, we're just going to write on this paper y equals mx plus b. All right, so what is the x? Who remembers from yesterday? David?
X is the variable x.
No.
X is like the x line.
Nope. So if you need to look back at yesterday, you can look back at yesterday. Robbie?
X value of any ordered pair on there.
The x value of any ordered pair on the line. So knowing that about our x, what is the y, Luke?
The y value of any ordered pair on the line.
The y is the y value of any ordered pair on the line. What does the m stand for? Rocco? The slope. And what does the b stand for? Eleanor?
The y-intercept.
The y-intercept. Remember, when we are working with it, we start with the b, the y-intercept. Then we find that slope. That's how it moves across the line, the m. So beginning is the y-intercept. So I'm not entirely sure why we're being goofy over there, but it's incredibly distracting to me. So I need us all to stop and pay attention, please. So just remember that any ordered pair on the line will work in the equation. Plug and check. We talked a lot about that, how we plug and check. We worked with yesterday's objective using that slope, plugging in that point that we found to check to see if we used that slope correctly to find that second point. So today we're going to graph a line using the two ordered pairs. So we're going to graph it. Then we're going to write the equation of each line in that slope-intercept form. Show how you've checked your answer. So we're going to show that checking of our answer. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find our slope and our y-intercept. So, well, actually, I take that back. First thing we want to do is we want to graph, right? So our first one is 0, 2. I wonder if I have a different colored pen I can use so it'll show up better. So we have 0, 2, and then we have 3, 1. And I'm going to make my line. Now, in order to do that y equals mx plus b, I need to find that slope and the y-intercept. What is my slope for this line? Christina? So Christina said 1 over 3. So that means I go to my line, I go up 1 and over 3. Oh, negative 1 over 3. That negative number makes a big difference. Don't forget to put your negative on if we have to go down for that rise. So my slope is negative 1 over 3. What is my y-intercept? David?
0, 2.
0, 2. Because when the x is 0, y is 2. So now I need to put it into that slope-intercept form. So we always start with y equals, what should I put next? What do you think, Hadley? What do I want to put with that negative 1 over 3? Amala? X. Do not forget the x. Every year I have friends that write their y-intercept form and they forget to put the y or they forget to put the x. You cannot forget those. They are a part of the slope-intercept form. So you have to put the y and the x always. Don't always have to put the slope. When wouldn't we put the slope? When the slope is what? When do we not have to write it? Graham?
1 over 1.
1 over 1. So you don't always have to put the slope. If it's 1 over 1, you would just leave it x. Don't always have to put the y-intercept. When wouldn't we put the y-intercept? Harper? If it's 0. If that y-intercept is 0, 0, you don't put that y-intercept because plus 0 doesn't change our number at all. But it's not 0 for this one. What should I put? Y equals negative 1/3 x what? Amala? Plus 2. Because I'm going to put that y-intercept of 2 on there. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. Now it says, show how you've checked your answer. How would I check this answer? How would I check the answers? Eleanor, the only one knows how to check the answer? Graham, how would I check the answer?
By putting 3, 1 into the equation.
I could put the 3, 1 into the equation. 3 for the x, 1 for the y. Could I only use one of those points? I could use either one of them, right? Any point on the line will work. So I could really use this first one or the second one. It doesn't matter. But I need to show that I'm checking using one of them. So Graham said, let's do the 3, 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in for the y. That equals negative 1/3 times that 3 over 1 plus 2. So negative 1/3 times 3 over 1 equals what? My 1 equals what? What is negative 1/3 times 3? What do you think, Eleanor? Negative 1/3 times 3. Eleanor?
Negative.
Negative 1 plus 2. What is negative 1 plus 2? Claire?
1.
1. Does 1 equal 1? Yes, it does. I did my graph correctly. All right. So yesterday, we were still figuring out how to check our work. I've gone through it. We explained it. People asked questions. Today, I expect you to show checking your work for every graph that you do. So you're not just drawing a graph saying done. Okay, the directions say graph the line, then write the equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to be looking for a graph. I'm going to be looking for the y equals mx plus b with the correct numbers put in for that line. And I'm going to be looking that you checked your work. So I'm going to be looking for all 3 things. If you don't have all 3 things present, will we get credit for this homework? No. Let's do one more together. Well, we'll do 2 more together to make sure that we fully understand what we're doing. What's the first step I'm going to do? Claire? Graph it. So 0, 4. What? X is 0, y is 4. Negative 4, 2. There is my line. So I graphed it. Now I need to write it in the slope-intercept form. So I need to know what my slope is. What is my slope? Hadley? I go up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to make sure that we are counting it correctly. Do I leave it as 2 over 4? Christina?
No.
Why not? I can simplify that. Don't forget to simplify your slopes, right? So we want to make sure that we find the correct slope. So slow down your counting to making sure you're finding that correct slope, and you simplify it when you can. What is my slope-intercept form? Not form. What is my y-intercept? Sorry. Amala. 0, 4. So I'm going to use that y to put it into my slope-intercept form. So what am I going to write for my slope-intercept form? Y equals what? Claire?
X plus 4.
Y equals 1/2 x plus 4. All of those parts need to be present. I'm going to repeat this because every year I have friends go too fast. And you would be amazed at how many times people forget to put the x in there. And it's wrong every time that you forget to put a piece of that slope-intercept form. I need to see y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So you always have to slow yourself down and making sure that you're putting all of those pieces in there. How should I check my work? Because I have to show that I am checking my work. What points should I use to check my work? Eleanor.
Had to finish writing that. 2 equals half times negative 4 plus 4.
So, Eleanor's having us use their second point with our y of 2. Our x is negative 4. We know our slope-intercept is 4. So, what is a half of negative 4? 2 equals what? What is a half of negative 4? Fallon? Negative 2. And then we have our plus 4. So what is negative 2 plus 4? Christina? 2. 2 really does equal 2. Now, Hadley when she counted out for the slope, she was thinking, oh, it's 2/3, 2 over 3. So if we would have put 2/3 in for that slope, it wouldn't work out. And that's your checkpoint. Did I do my slope correctly? It happens. We count wrong. It happens all the time. We make those little mistakes. We do our check to make sure that we catch those mistakes and go, wait a minute, 2 doesn't equal some crazy number. 2 is supposed to equal 2, and it's not equaling it. I made a mistake somewhere. That's when you go back and you check, where did I make the mistake? Because it's okay if we make a mistake. It happens. But we want to check it and correct it before we turn our test in. So we're practicing checking our work, so on the test, we catch those simple mistakes and we don't have to retake it. We catch the mistakes first. All right, let's look at our next one. Our first one is 0, negative 3. Then we have 5, 5. I need to find my slope. What is my slope? Rocco? 8 over 5. What is my y-intercept? Rocco? 0, negative 3. So when I do my slope-intercept form, what am I going to write for my slope-intercept form? Graham? My slope-intercept form. So that's putting it all together. So tell me what to write for my equation.
Y equals 8 over 5 x minus 3.
Good, because it was a negative 3. It's not plus negative 3, it's just minus 3. We know in our heads it's the same as saying plus negative 3, but that just looks really confusing when we write it that way, having a plus and then the negative right next to each other. Because if we were to write it that way, if we were to say y equals 8 over 5x plus negative 3, having that plus and the negative right next to each other gets confusing. So that's why we just call it minus 3. Because adding a negative 3 is the same as subtracting 3. So now I need to check my work. Which point should I use to check my work? Fallon.
5, 5.
All right, so y equals 5. 5 equals 8 over 5 times that 5 over 1 minus 3. So 5 equals, I'm going to cross simplify here, 8 over 1 is an 8 minus 3. 5 equals 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 truly does equal 5. How are we feeling about this objective? Show me your thumbs. Okay, we have work time today in class. So some of us are a little shaky. We have time to work it through and to check our work. Okay, remember I need to see all 3 pieces for each graph. I need to see the line being graphed. I need to see that slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Put those numbers in. And I need to see you checking your work. So if you're still a little hung up on the checking your work, that's when you come up to me and say, Miss Gambino, walk me through this one a little bit more so I can figure it out. Okay? We have the rest of this page to do, those 3 on the bottom. And then we have 9 on the back, on the second page. It's all the same work, okay? We're doing the same thing for each of these. Nothing crazy and new thrown in there, it's just giving us that practice. So if you are watching this at home and you have questions, make sure you come and see me. I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.